Hello students, I am Vikram Singh Rathod. Today I am presenting Pandas library. My first lecture on the Pandas library introduction, then after I am describing the data structure of Pandas libraries. In the way to think about the Pandas data structure as a flexible container for lower dimensional data. For example, data frame is a container for series and series is a container for scalars. We would like to able to insert and remove objects from these containers in a dictionary like structures. Also, we would like to sensible default behavior for the common API functions which take into account the typical orientation of time series and cross-sectional data sets. When using ND arrays to store 2D or 3D dimensional data, a burden is placed on the user to consider the orientation of the datasets when writing functions. X's are considered more or less environment except when C or Fortran continuous matters for performance. In Pandas, the X's are intended to lend more semantic meaning to the data, such as for a particular dataset, there is likely to be a right way to orient the data. The goal then it is reduce the amount of mental efforts required to code up data transformation in downstream functions. Then after I am describing the mutability and copying of the data in using Pandas library. All Pandas data structure are variable, mutable. The values they can contain can be altered. It means the data can be changes by the user, but not always size mutable. The length of the series cannot be changed, but for the example column can be inserted into a data frame. Data frame is called as such a structure of the data that is defined the data in a form. However, the vast majority of methods produce new objects and leave the data input data untouched. In general, we like to favor immutability where sensible. Then after getting supported from data from Pandas library, the first stop for Pandas issue and ideas is the GitHub issue trackers. If you have a general question, Pandas community experts can answer through Stack Overflow. Sometimes the users get error in the Pandas code. He would help from Stack Overflow and then remove the error easily. Then after I am defining community, Panda is a active supported today by community of like-minded individuals around the world who contributes their valuable time and energy to help make open source Pandas possible. Thanks to all of our contributors. If you are interested in contributor, please visit the contributing guide. Panda is a NUM focus sponsored project. This will help ensure the success of development of Pandas as a worldwide open source project and make it possible to donate to the project. Then after the role of project governance, the governance process that Pandas project has used formally since its inception in 2008 is formalized in project governance documents. The documents clarify how decisions are made and how the various elements of our community interact, including the relationship between open source, collaborative development, and work that may be funded by for the profit or non-profit entities. Wes McKinney is the benevolent dictator for life is such is called is abbreviated BDFL is work as a project governance on Pandas library. Then after the description about development team of Pandas, the list of core team members and more more detailed information can be founded on the people's pages and the governance repo. Institutional partners. The information about current institutional partners can be found on Pandas website. This is the short introduction to Pandas generated mainly for new users. Then after I am describing the practical approaches of Pandas library. First of all, I am imported NumPy, and then after Pandas library as a alias name np and pd. Then I am create a object. See in the data structure introduction section, creating a series by passing a list of values, letting Pandas create a default index values. Example, s is a variable and is equal to symbol, then call the Pandas library alias name dot series and 1 2 3 4 np dot none, and then 6 and 8 are the values of series. And then after I want to print the output, I just write the s, and the output is a generated index list 0 to 5, and the values those are described in our series, and also define the data type float 64. Then example second, I am creating a data frame by passing a NumPy array with a date time index and label columns. I am create a variable dates is equal to pd dot date underscore range function is called, and then define the date format data such as 2020-0101 comma periods is equal to 6, then print the dates, then the output is the date time index is display on the slides, and also describe the date time data type, and frequency also is one dimensional. Then after describe how to create a data frame, I am define a df as a data frame, and then call pd alias name and dot data frame function is called. Then I am also called the NumPy alias name np and call the function rand n, and 6 row and 4 columns is defined here, and index are also as dates, and columns is equal to list and labeled as abcd. And then after I want to output, so I write the code print df, and the output is defined, you can see on the list on the slide. Then example third, creating a data frame by passing a dictionary object that can be converted to series like. Here we define a dictionary like data structure, so I can define another variable df2 as a data frame 2 is equal to, and call pd as pandas library alias name and dot data frame, and then define the dictionary, and here a is a key and colon 1 is a value. So our previously explained the dictionary data type in Python, such as the defined here I am data with key and values. And then after I want to print out of the data frame two values. The values are listed, you can see on the slides. The a column is the index value and b column is the data, and c is the a series index list, and also I am defining the array type data structure. And then after e also define the categories as test train, and a another variable that is used for a string variable. So here the key value is f and the value of f is foo. The f column is output is foo. The column of the resulting data frame have different data types. So define I want to define the data types. Those are used in data dictionary in a data frame. So I write the code print df dot d types. So output is display on the slides, you can see easily. The code behind write the above programs is displayed on a slides. You can easily show the slide and make the programs using Anaconda, Spider. Thanks. Our official channel CGJPR is subscribed is subscribes you and make the interest or learning the machine learning or pythons or any other technologies. Those are defined on various type of technologies. Videos, e-lectures are uploaded. You can easily so and learn the technology, advanced technologies. Those are used in computer science, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, etc.